Devil's on the loose and he's dancing with the mummy.
Deep from the bowels of the Macabre Theater Laboratory, we bring you Macabre Cast. There is nothing wrong with your YouTube dial. You are exactly where you should be, where the slush puppy machine is always on and cold. Your favorite horror mag is on the rack, discreetly between Women's Wear Daily and Cosmopolitan. I'm your host, Dark Mark, along with my counterpart, Karis, the Little Mummy, here to bring you another episode of Macabre Cast, where we'll be dropping ours where they belong and adding them where they don't. Yeah! This is a safe space for those who wish Hollywood would return to the extraordinary poster art that once was created for films, instead of a grouping of headshots of the cast superimposed over a black canvas. Newbies welcome, regulars welcome back. Worshippers need not apply. Please, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and tell a friend to do the same, even that guy who can never manage to keep his story straight about anything. Ever. Yeah, that guy. If you wish to interact with fellow Monster Kids, visit and follow the Facebook page Macabre Theater. A link can be found in the description of this show. It's there you can leave me a message through Messenger and be a part of the show. Come on, you know you want to. Episode 110 begins now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Adoro il cast macabro.
Hello, Karis. Great show coming up. Now, the topic I threw out there for this week was, what themes would you like to see further explored within the horror genre? You know, and I had given examples like a period piece, like maybe there's a creature wreaking havoc, but it's taking place in the 17th century, so you have limited resources to fight it. Or take the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde story and make it happen on a space station or a space shuttle or something to that degree. So, further explored within the genre. Themes further explored.
Oh boy, that sounds real exciting. You want to hear a joke now? I got a new joke for today. So, a professor, a priest, and a 12-year-old boy are on a plane. The pilot dies, and the plane is going to crash. There are only 2 parachutes. The professor says, I'm a Nobel Prize winner, and the president tells me that I'm the smartest man in the country. So I need to live. He grabs the parachute and he jumps out. The priest looks at the boy and says, I've lived a long life. I'm a priest, and when I die, I'll go to live with God. You are only 12 and have a life to live. The 12-year-old boy says, don't worry about it, Father. The smartest man in the country just grabbed my backpack and jumped out, so we're good.
It's time for horror news.
Life's river shall rise, she said, but only the strong shall survive, she said, but I'm feeling quite weak, she said.
St. Clair, the Bella Thorne serial killer thriller, will get a theatrical release July 18th. Osgood Perkins is not the only one wanting to make a Chainsaw Massacre film. It's now become a bidding war between Taylor Sheridan, Jordan Peele, and, as mentioned, Osgood Perkins. Jordan Peele. So does that mean we get a black version of Chainsaw? That could be interesting. But my money is on Osgood. Ready or Not, Part 2, has wrapped production and is set for an April 2026 release. 28 years later, gets a hard R rating from the MPA. A hard R? Romero would have told them what to do with their hard R and went with an X, because that's just how he rolled. Blumhouse has acquired the franchise rights to Saw, and Mike Flanagan has stated that his Exorcist sequel will not make its announced release date. And that's it for horror news.
She said,
And Brownie agrees. Brownie, the corpse-sniffing dog.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
So a while back in 2023, I had announced how Hammer Films were about to start releasing horror movies again, like the type they released in the 60s. And they released Dr. Jekyll, which unfortunately got very little theatrical distribution and was hard to go and see. Hammer never really got the critical praise that they deserved, and much like the 1960s, Dr. Jekyll received lukewarm reviews as well. But when it comes to Hammer Films, don't ever let that deter you. I finally got to view Dr. Jekyll streaming free with ads on a streaming channel I had yet to ever watch, the Roku streaming channel. The star of the film, Eddie Izzard, is a transgender. This I knew, and I wondered if this version of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was going to walk that touchy subject line with its newest reboot of the Stevenson story. No, it didn't. The character of Dr. Jekyll in this film is a woman played by a man. And wow, was I blown away. Eddie Izzard, at 63 years old, gave an extraordinary performance as a woman. And it interfered in no way with the story, which I thought was fresh and original and kept me captivated until its final. I cannot recommend this movie more. I will spoil nothing. If you are a Hammer fan and love the gothic look of the 1960s, but now with a touch of modern, you'll love this movie. I can't wait to get this on Blu-ray and add it to my collection. Eddie Izzard is amazing, and critics got this wrong. 4 out of 5 stars. Doc Mark highly recommends. Go check it out.
Go check it out. Go check it out. Go check it out.
Jekyll and Hyde. Jekyll and Hyde. Jekyll and Hyde. Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah, well, I look like a woman, but I guess it ain't true. My personality splits in two. Jekyll and Hyde. Jekyll and Hyde. I guess I'm just a Jekyll and Hyde. Let's talk. Won't you tell me what is wrong? Yeah, let's talk.
Hey, Doc Mark, Lil Karras, and all the Monster Kids hanging out at the theater this week. It's Horror Chat Matt checking in.
This guy talks like he's on coke. Fast talker.
So, Doc, your question this week about how you could go off into a different genre or a character into a new setting. This one's a little bit of a head scratcher for me. I guess I'm just not that creative. And my imagination's not that strong. So the best I could come up with is a couple of things. Just copying from the latest Evil Dead movie, Evil Dead Rise. You could always set like a Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees, who did take the trip to New York one time, but neither one of them, to the best of my knowledge, has ever been in an apartment building complex. And that could create some interesting stories where they're chasing their victim around and they're trying to get into different apartments, stairways, the boiler room, parking garages, stuff like that. Could be something interesting. You could always have Leatherface, travel up to California and take that chainsaw massacre there. And then another one I did come up with, kind of a stolen idea, again, stolen valor over here. There's these funny Scooby-Doo memes that go around with them like interacting with Michael Myers and Jason and Freddy. So, you could do a more adult-themed animated series of Scooby-Doo where the gang goes to investigate stuff at Camp Crystal Lake, Elm Street. They could head down to Texas. Or take on a case with Chucky and, even head it to Haddonfield. And just have them go into these different worlds and franchises. And again, it would have to be a little more adult-themed and hopefully have some good gore and blood in it. And speaking of animated movies with good gore and violence, I just took in the newest Predator Killer of Killers animated movie. It's about an hour and a half long. It's on Hulu. And I have to say, I really enjoyed it. The animation style was actually pretty stunning and beautiful, and there was plenty of violence and gore in this thing. Basically, it's 3 different stories that all end up wrapping up into the same story. I really enjoyed it, and I definitely recommend checking it out. And as far as the big get-together this Friday the 13th to check out the one that started it all, my favorite franchise, it's looking like my chances of attending have a death curse on them. My wife has other plans for us. I've been trying my best to get out of them, but it looks like I will not be able to attend this one. I hope everybody has a great time and that this becomes a regular event where the Monster Kids get together every couple of months or so I can definitely get out there and meet some of the Monster Kids I haven't met before. As always, make my Macabre cast.
The only apartment complex horror that I recall is Demons 2. Demons 2 definitely is not as great as the original Demons, but it is good. And it takes place in an apartment complex. All hell breaks loose. Definitely worth a look-see. And Poltergeist 3, which I think, you know, that takes place in a complex, and I'm pretty sure that was one of my horrible mentions one week. I'm surprised that no fan film has been made of a Scooby-Doo slasher. You know, I figured they would just link together old clips and you know, kind of dub new voice and audio over it. I'm really surprised some kind of fan thing hasn't been done with the Scooby-Doo, to be quite honest. As far as things I'd like to see further explored in the horror genre is I'd like to see more tie-ins, Matt, with earlier films and characters. Example, you know, Jenny from Friday the 13th Part 2. I want to see that further explored. I want to see what her life was like after that. How, you know, the person she became after that trauma. Maybe she traded her degree for child psychiatry and for a forensic degree. And maybe she goes after slashers for a living. You know, slashers like Jason or something. I don't know. That's something I'd like to see further explored. And of course, you know, I'd like to see many more Macabre meetups myself. I don't know how often. You know, I don't know about every couple months, but definitely I'm hoping that this first Macabre meetup won't be the last. As always, Horror Chat, so great hearing from you every week, and we hope to hear from you again real soon. And I know you want to look good. You want to shine in some new horror merch. Well, hey, Dark Mark has got your back. Because what would be better than a Macabre Cast t-shirt? That's right. Right now, you can get a Macabre Cast t-shirt for only $13. It includes your shipping. Be the cool monster kid on the street. Message me for Venmo info. Horrible mention. This week's horrible mention is 1977's Kingdom of the Spiders. In a rural part of Arizona, countless killer tarantulas are migrating through a farm town. This is the beginning of a complete takeover of the area. Tarantula! An 8-year-old Dark Mark found this movie tense and terrifying. Jaws with legs. But unbeknownst to me was the venom of most North American tarantulas is not deadly to humans, causing no more harm than a bee sting. But I will still say seeing hundreds of these suckers sprawled all over furniture is quite unnerving. $50,000 of the film's budget went toward the spiders. Producers offered $10 each for live tarantulas, and the handlers collected 5,000 of them. After production was complete, and since tarantulas are native to the area, all of the remaining spiders were let loose in Arizona. For years, local residents of the area saw a higher than usual number of tarantulas. Tarantula!
killer.
William Shatner plays the veterinarian and star of the film and does what he does best. He plays himself. He later revealed in an autobiography that he found it distressing how many tarantulas were killed on set, hearing them squish as cars drove over them. So you will not see a disclaimer that no animals were harmed during the making of this film. The majority of the soundtrack is from the library of film. Lots of music cues and stingers are from various episodes of The Twilight Zone. William Shatner worked with Canon Films in the 1980s and pitched the idea for a sequel that he would star and direct, but the studio went bankrupt before this could come to fruition. 1977's Kingdom of the Spiders is this week's Horrible Mention.
Oh my gosh. Does that suck?
Along came a spider, crept up beside her, spun his web deep inside her. My darkness would guide her. I am the spider. I am the spider. I am the spider.
Is this something you could share with the rest of us, Amazing Larry?
Greetings, Doc Mark and Karis the Little Mummy. Scary Larry here. Let's do this. Hey Karis, why don't you hear pterodactyls in the bathroom? The P is silent. No review for this week, but let's tackle the topic of the week. A couple ideas popped into my head. One, take audiences on the journey for a more in-depth look at the Cenobites world. I haven't watched all of those movies, but the ones I did watch, they came through to our world. I'd love to see more of theirs.
We have such sights to show you.
This one has been kicking around for quite a while, but I would really love to see either Shudder, HBO, or even Prime do an origin series on the 13 entities from 2001's 13 Ghosts. Now, I'm not saying give each ghost its own season, but a couple episodes or a few of them detailing the backstory of their human existence and the events or decisions that led each to their afterlife purgatory. Lastly, I took Dark's advice and bought tickets in advance for the Friday the 13th screening at Cinema Salem. Me and my twisted sister will be there. Are you going to be there?
Yes, seeing the world of the Cenobites would be pretty neat. And we do get a glimpse into that world a little bit in Hellbound Hellraiser 2, but I completely see where you're going with that. And you know, it's been a long time since I've seen that reboot of 13 Ghosts, which I thought was excellent, but fully agree with you. I felt myself the entire time watching it wanting to know what the backstory of these ghosts were. Some great picks there, Larry. And looking forward to seeing you Friday night at Macabre Meet Up. Thank you for seeing it, so we just don't have to. Welcome to Cobwebbed Classics, where I dust off a lost, forgotten, or just plain unappreciated film and introduce it to, or maybe just remind you about it, so your spooky Saturday night might run a little creepier. This week's Cobwebbed Classic is 1979's The Silent Scream, directed by Denny Harris, starring Rebecca Balding, Cameron Mitchell, Avery Schruber, and Barbara Steele. When Scotty Parker starts at the university later than the other students, She learns that there are no vacancies and she must seek housing outside of the college. She finds a room for rent at an isolated mansion by the seaside. 3 other students are also renting rooms there. When one of the students is found dead, an investigation into the family that owns the mansion begins. Well done, suspenseful, who's the killer and why horror film. And at the dawn of the slasher boom to boot. Not the top of the food chain, but a mostly overlooked and unseen gem. The film was originally shot in 1977, deemed unreleasable, and a bulk of the film was reshot in 78 and then released in 79. Taglines for this gem are as follows. Terror so sudden, there is no time to scream. Quick, scream, too late, you're dead. 1979's The Silent Scream is this week's
Cobwebbed Classics.
Hey, Doc, we got a brand new monster kid sending a voice message in. Brandy, rock, candy. Answer your topic question about ideas that further explore the horror genre. Here's Brandy, rock, candy.
I think that I would do Pennywise in old-time caveman situation because I'm not sure how they would handle something like that back in that time period. I think that would be kind of interesting, actually. But I don't think that they would really know what to do as cavemen with a crazy clown.
Thank you, Brandy Rock Candy, and welcome to Macabre Cast. Definitely an interesting exploration into the genre, Pennywise amongst the Neanderthals. Of course, I don't know whenever the actual creature that Pennywise is first came about. I wonder if any of his possibilities are one of time jumping. Either way, great to hear from you, and we hope to hear from you again real soon.
The following program is rated TV MALV. It contains strong language and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Hello, Doc, Mock, Karis the Little Mummy, and all the monster kids. Sorry I missed last week, episode 108. I just wanted to add, as far as movies that zig but zagged, or whatever you call it, I want to say was The Invitation, because I wasn't sure how that was going to go. But if nobody has seen it, it's actually about a young woman, and her mother dies, and she takes a DNA test later and discovers she has a distant cousin in England that she didn't know about. She reaches out, she gets invited to England. It's this gorgeous castle. They wine dine. She falls, for this hot guy that is in the castle there. He's like, I don't know what they call him, but he's like the head of everything. They wait on him hand and foot. But nobody knows that he's a vampire until dinner, when he slits someone's throat and pours the blood in a cup for her to drink. I thought that movie was awesome. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good vampire movie. It was a little different, but I liked it. Anyway, that goes for that. I saw Bring Her Back, and I did not like it. I thought it was boring, and it wasn't worth the hype, in my opinion. It definitely was gory and stuff like that, but they could have did a better job, I guess, trying to explain what was going on, what was the plot. I saw it with my sister, and we both kept looking at each other like, what the fuck?
Melody, nobody talks like that.
Everybody talks like that.
They do not? What
do you think I say when I go to the feed store in town? Oh, now, Wally, give me a bag of that effing pig feed and 10 pounds that bitchly cow corn. And in the bank, do I tell Mrs. Bollinger, oh, here's one big bastard of a check. Give me some of your Christing money? There, look there. See what you made me do?
Is going on. We were both glad we didn't waste our money on it in the theater. We actually saw it on TV on FlixVision. I don't know how many people might have that, but you can watch newly released movies, on that channel. However, sometimes they're in cam and it's not a very good copy. But anyway, also, Mark, for the record, I still care about Stranger Things and I can't wait for the next episodes to come out. I'm bummed I can't make it to the meetup. My daughter's graduating tomorrow night, and I'm sure we'll be home late, and I will be very tired because I'm sure it's at 6, and I'm sure it's going to take a good 2 or 3 hours to get through all those kids. But I hope all you guys have a great time, and I hope I'm able to catch the next one. Mark, I'm also going to check out El Vampiro sometime this weekend. I love when you do the Cobweb classics because I hear a lot of movies that I haven't seen, and it gives me a chance to see them. So keep doing it. I love it. And keep making these episodes. I love them. I wanted to say, even though it wasn't a horror movie, Dangerous Animals was a great suspense thriller. It's at the movies now. It kind of has to do with kidnapping, ocean sharks. It's a really great suspenseful movie. Just when you think A is going to happen, B comes through, I highly recommend it. I saw this on TV, and I really wish I saw it in the movie because the TV was a cam version, and sometimes those don't come in as clear. But wow, just a great suspenseful movie. I thought it was really, really good. He pretty much, in short, kidnaps these people, and it's some ritual thing he does, and he feeds them to the shark, and he camcords it, and he has I don't want to tell you everything, but anyway, like I said, it's totally worth the money. A great suspense movie. And I think that's all I have. As far as going further, the topic, Mark, for 110 on things you'd like them to, go further into, I have nothing. I don't have a good imagination. I'm not a creative person. I have no idea. I don't know. Put the Loch Ness Monster on the beach. I don't know. But anyway, I hope everybody's had a good weekend and have a good week ahead. Until then, Melly out.
The Invitation I am familiar with and would really like to see that movie. As far as Dangerous Animals, I've heard nothing but good things about that. Saying it's really good. You're not the first that I've heard that from. As far as Loch Ness Monster on the beach, well, we can always count on Scary Larry to see it and caution us not to. Great hearing from you, Metal Melody, and we hope to hear from you again real soon.
Goditi questo episodio de Cast Macabro.
Thank you, Maria Monstalia, for telling our Italian friends to enjoy this episode of Macabrecast. The first Macabre meetup finally happened. It wasn't the turnout I hoped for, but myself, Laura Hara, Jack-O-Lantern, Chicago Tina, Scary Larry, and his twisted sister sat in a packed theater in Salem, Mass. On Friday the 13th, watching the OG Friday the 13th. What more could anyone ask? A great night had by all. I only hope you will all join us next time. Beware the moon. Keep clear of the moors. But most of all, remember, be good to yourself. This is Dark Mark, signing off. See you soon. I hope.
This is a Macabre Theater production.
Subscribe us.